Welcome to Isis in the Bible Summer Gathering, week number 10. Metu Neter, Eye of Ra. The question for today is, have you heard of the eyes of Ra and Horus? The meaning behind the two physical eyes with black portals, meaning to see yourself as the puppeteer behind the veil of it all. Today we open up the veil between the seen and the unseen, exploring the ancient mystery of the eyes of Ra and Horus, not just as symbols, but as mirrors into the soul of the observer. Are these eyes watching us, or are we the ones watching through them, or both? Glad you could join us today. So I pulled up this image because this image you don't see it very often, but you do see two eyes. So you can't see unless you're using your eyes for what they are intended to see. When you do, you will see the puppeteer behind the curtain that you cannot ever see. This is how you achieve the wisdom of no thing, the pure potential of all things to which the perfection of God is known. God is not a man. God is the process out and in perfect golden ratio proportions, to which we will show you again in another slide. So what I did is I took what consensus is out there, tweaked it a little bit based on what we've been learning, and then threw it here. So the eye, so we have a moon eye and a sun. So like everybody said, a masculine and a feminine, right? I should have left this as blue shift, red shift, and like somebody said, so that was perfect. If you take red and blue, you get the purple. When I close my eyes, it's all I ever see is the purple, a purple cloud showing up, a beautiful, this color, actually. So the domain is night versus day, healing and memory versus judgment. This is the feminine, this is the masculine. Energy, inward, nurturing, restorative. Like we said, we know that the out is tethered to pure love, which goes back in a torsion in that golden ratio spiral. So the energy, inward, nurturing, restorative versus outward, fiery. Element, water and fire. Resurrection, protection versus justice, wrath, defense, right? This is where we make a lot of muddy waters by our actions. And then the other eye is bearing the witness. The divine aspect is mother and wounded son, and the Ra is the father and the warrior mother. The correspondence, this is a stab. I mean, obviously we have Eris and we have Pluto, so this is divine feminine and divine masculine. And on the masculine side, we have Mars, but we also have Juno, the white witch, the Mary Magdalene, the one that stays with Jesus or with Horus, Jesus, Horus, Buddha, whatever you want to call them, when they're in manifest. So the Quranic echo is Al-Basir, the all-seeing, and Al-Rahman, the merciful. In the biblical echo, it's Joseph's dreams, healing, and it's Isaiah's fire and justice. So you can see in other locations where they take this eye right at one, and they're just showing you, this looks like the ibis, which would be Mercury, but which would be the memories in the waters. And when you get to understand that every one of these characters is you, it's an essence of you. It's nobody outside of you. These are all beautiful, loving, light energies that make you up. And it's beautiful when you look over here, you'll see these eyes symbols without no pupils in it, which would be the third eye. When you see the pupil, that means this is one of your physical eyes, but obviously this one was probably the moon eye, because you see the moon, it's white. So this would be the feminine eye, which I think would be the right eye, because people say the right eye ties to the left side, right? So either way, it really doesn't matter which way we flip it, as long as we understand the difference between the two. One is one side of the field, the other is the other side of the field, like we show you in a magnet. So that's it in a general sense. Where you see this on the Egyptian walls, the Dendra zodiac at the Hathor temple, which was moved, is a depiction of exactly when this process of lifting the veil occurs. So lifting the veil means we get to see with both those eyes in the physical world, and knowing that there's something outside of the physical world, the soul, pure love, whatever we want to call it, is there, and that is what is the driving source, which is love. So this Phoenix rising occurs every 558 years. On April 15th, 2023, this is the alignment at 0 degree Aries, and you have these two symbols on the Dendra zodiac. We lift the veil. Here is the one, you got 4 snakes there, the 4 watchers sitting on the throne, waiting to get the veil lifted. It's here and now. We're not lifting the veil because somebody bumped their head. It's not random. It's not anything but divine timing. People will once again be able to see with the two material eyes the synchronicities and the synchronicities around it. So your two eyes are going to start seeing all these beautiful synchronicities. They get you to say, hey, there's something bigger to this life than what we see on the outside world. So people will once again, if they choose to, see the magic of the perfection and the eye behind the two material eyes. So here we see the inner eye in the Phoenix rising position. And in Tanakh, Isaiah 35:5 says, then the eyes of the blind shall be opened. And remember, Isaiah, you can see the word Isha in there, which is Isis. You can see the A, you can see the throne, you can see all those beautiful letters in there. So back to this, you've guys seen this before, the face of God, right? The two sides of the field, right? So the red shift would be the Ra, the sun, the male, and the eye, so that'd be the eye of Ra, and the eye of Horus. So why did I pick eye of Horus? Because the eye of Horus is the one that actually starts to see. He realizes that he's the hours, because Horus and hours on the wheel are the same word. So when you realize you're on this beautiful cycle, infinite cycle, and again, on the Dendra zodiac, you'll see the spiral being visualized with the pupil eye, the physical eye, and then the metaphysical eye behind is the one that is witnessing, the observer that gets to understand all this. So this becomes the face of God. This is the eye of Ra and the eye of Horus. Again, you could flip these two around. Let's not get hung up on the names. But the whole point is we have a masculine and feminine, two sides of the field looking eyeballs here that help us blend those blue shift and red shift together to make the purple. So I like that. I am going to modify this slide from the master slide that I keep for information. So again, the yin and the yang, right? The field, the clock, non-duality. This is not duality, because this one, the red shift is tethered to the purple shift. When they both come out, this is the one that's in torsion that brings this one back to the point in the middle, right? Which is pure love, the hole in the middle, the womb. So on Sunday, I was updating my notice of travel, not realizing the synchronicity of what was transpired on that day. You can see that I have the word peregrinus, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So I've used this document in lieu of a passport. You don't have to have a passport. You don't have to buy a passport. Man's rules aren't governing for you. It's you who makes yourself sovereign. So while I was working on this, my brother and daughter and her friend and I went to Holiday Beach for the Festival of Hawks. First thing I saw during a senseless but harmless banding of hawks, I see a picture of the peregrine hawk. And the peregrine hawk, I'll get to in a minute, is about the peregrinus that I have in this word. So I walk up there and I see that beautiful word of the peregrine falcon. So these are the things we're going to start to see. All these things happen in our day are all aligned as guidance. It's absolutely beautiful. So when he took the red-tailed hawk around, this is not a, I'm not sure if there's the picture of that day or not. My brother's camera took a bunch of pictures, but for some reason they didn't work, not allowing him to see. Anyway, so when he took it around, he brought it closer to me, and the hawk turned and stared me deep in the eyes. I mean, locked in for at least 10 seconds, and that's a long time. And then I made a vision to that hawk of its release. So she would know that she's being released, but I'm sure she already knows because she's the all-seeing eye. She already knows it's going to happen. They come back to meet because if I did this gentleman's chart here, he would have an amazing alignment with what I think would be Saturn and the sun, because that would be father time. So it's absolutely beautiful. Earlier, when we were on the beach, the girls were searching for seashells. Again, seashells from the sea, and you can see the spiral in the shells, right? The Fibonacci spiral. An Eastern Indian man came up to us and he engaged in conversation. He said he was a retired anesthesiologist. I said, "Oh, you put people to sleep?" He said, "I wake them up too." And in jest, I said, "There are people walking around that need you to wake them." And he laughed, right? I wanted to see his action. So then I asked him, I said, "Hey, have you heard of medical astrology?" And he said, "Medical astrology." And he just stared at me, but he wasn't dismissing it. And then I said to him, "Have you heard of the Vikram Samvat Nirvana?" And he said, "Oh, I never hear anybody talk about that calendar." So right away, he knew it was the calendar. I didn't say calendar to him. So he was engaging with me, and we had deep conversation. And I started talking about, I study the Egyptian walls, and they're essences. They're not a language. I looked to the ground, and right at our feet in the beach was this red-tailed hawk, to which he caught that day, the guy that was banding them. So I picked it up and I said, "Oh, look, Horus, the all-seeing eye is here." We spoke for a bit. I said, "We're having that all-seeing eye experience right now." And he gave me this smile, and he nodded and he walked away. My son just came over to visit me an hour before this meeting, and he said, "Hey, look at this picture of this hawk." And I said, "When did you take that?" "On Sunday at 7:07 p.m., my son." Okay, because one of us is Ra and one of us is Horus, right? Like Lex said. One is the father, one is the son, which is the same as the mother and the daughter. All the same. So I don't usually read, but this is important. So peregrinus comes from, when you state that you are peregrinus, the Latin word with deep roots and layered meanings, both historical and metaphysical. The literal definition, peregrinus is the wanderer, a foreigner, a traveler, a pilgrim, or an outsider, one who goes through the land, not of it, right? Historical usage in Roman law, peregrinus referred to non-citizens or foreigners in Roman society, those on a journey, often spiritual. So metaphysical spiritual interpretation, a seeker of truth traveling through foreign lands, earthly life to return to divine source. Not stuck in the material world, right? A soul not bound by the systems of man, a stranger to the worldly system, but aligned with the higher law, natural law, divine law. And of course, love all fits into this, because you can't achieve any states of this seeing eye if you're not love. Related meanings, a traveler, so a pilgrim, a traveler for sacred purpose, a stranger, one not of this place system, a wanderer, not lost, but journeying through. So a peregrine falcon is migratory. Rosemary sent this for us to have a look at, and we can get into discussion with it after, Rosemary, unless you want to say something now on your experience with this. That would be awesome.
It is, however anybody interprets it, again, it's up to them. But it was inspired by an album called The Bitter Truth by Evanescence. And one is what is being seen, the artifact turn, which is you see on the right. And I don't remember the last track on the album, but that is the one on the left. So they actually complemented each other going through. So it is part of one body.
It's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Thank you.
So this is what I wanted to add. Who has these eyes? So Mesopotamia, it's the eyes of Inanna, Ishtar. Greece, it's the eye of Zeus and Medusa's gaze. Medusa's gaze would mean, the sexual versus non-sexual gaze. India, third eye of Shiva. Persia, eye of Ahura Mazda. Christianity, the eye of Providence. Islamic mysticism is Bashira, inner eye. Mesoamerica, the eye of Quetzalcoatl. And we need our buddy back from Mexico. Japanese Shinto, eye of Amaterasu. Esoteric occult tradition is the third eye, pineal gland. Every culture knows and understands that we do wake. The veil lifts.
I want to add something. In the past, I have shown that on the saying that all roads lead to Rome, Roma, and when you come home, you return, it becomes Amor, or love. There is also another interpretation. When we go through the land of the male dominance, we are roaming room A, but then we reach a door A, Dora. It appears everywhere, Dora. Pandora is one of them. And when that door opens, there's the child. The child is revealed. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Lex. And Ora from Dora. Ora means gold, right? You find the gold, that which is not tarnishable.
Yeah, D is the letter for creation.
Yeah. Yep. The Ora
creation,
means of gold.
The creation of the golden child. Yes.
Yes. Awesome. Very fitting. Thanks, Lex. Okay, so RevCat Peggy, another asked if I did Charles James Kirk's chart, and I said I don't do them usually when it's that much media, but if I get asked, I would do it. So when I took the screen grab of his chart, the train's horn blew at that exact moment. So he got shot at 12:23, and it was 12:22 when I took it, planting some seeds. So I'm planting seeds of love by doing his chart. I really am, because everybody is infinite. It's okay to learn from everybody's journey. So the energy is in his chart for him leaving the visible. It's because he needed to love more. He is pro-guns, which keeps people in the karmic loop, which is against natural law. So Ceres, the harvester, and Vesta, protector of the hearth, essences of himself, took himself out. Remember, we don't have to go after somebody and keep the karmic loop going. The person who would have shot him is getting even. They're in a karmic battle. So I'm not judging, I'm not pinpointing, but we do have to get back to love. He's infinite. He'll be back with his family. It's all good. It's no different than getting a timeout in school. So we are one, and everything happens to us is a reflection of our inner waters. The only reason people keep guns is they're afraid of their own karma, and it goes into a deep rabbit hole with hunters. We will hear many more hunter and animal farmer encounters, as they will escalate exponentially. It's because it's time for love. I'm planting seeds right now. I'm planting seeds of love. It's not about judgment. We've all been there. We've all cast the first stone, right? Whoever's never sinned, cast the first stone. So it's not about that. We have to learn, because in its chart, it definitely explains that. So going around this chart, at the moment that he got shot, you can see the vertex, something being birthed, Hygeia, a cleanse, right? This is the north and south node of the moon. They are the exit portals. These are reincarnation nodes, all right? Exactly on that day for everyone. And there's the memories of the waters. The black moon was rising, deep spiritual signs. You can see right here, the black moon had just gotten by his Lilith and his Mercury. So that would have been a day or two before. Juno, the earthen mother, the nurturing woman on Pluto, his higher God self. The moon, apparently I can't find out if he died later that day or died instantly, but it says later that day. But the moon was transiting his Ceres, which is the harvester, which is the relationships. Vesta was exactly square with his natal Vesta, the protector of the truth, the hearth, the fire within. And then his natal Vesta was in a half square, exactly with Ceres. And the IC, remember the cardinal points move in minutes. So just minutes before it passed Palace community, because he's in community, Father Time, Horus, Ra, and then Vesta, the Vestal Virgins, and it's in Aquarius. So again, this is in Leo, Aquarius, the North-South node, forgiveness and Braveheart. So he's taking one for the team. So in his chart, exactly at 0.0, Ceres is in aspect with Juno, the Earthen Mother, in retrograde. At the exact moment, you can see that Venus, the loving of all beings, is aligned with Mary, and his wings are taking out to uphold other people's worlds, surrounding energy, the pure energy of Neptune. Okay, so that energy, that instant bang will be there, right? So a recap of what I read. On that day, the sun was aligned to the reincarnation portal with memories of the water, which is Mercury. Mary Magdalene, the nurturing mother, took him out using Ceres, the harvester of relationships, for not sharing loving truth. His wings were taken away, but this energy will be to uphold other people's worlds, whom have the eyes to see, the eyes of Ra and Horus, and the wisdom of no thing which shapes our experience based on pure love. This is not something tragic, so to speak, except for the family, the loss. In that moment, I understand it. That part is tragic. But there's a reward here. There's something we have to learn. When I took the snapshot, the train horn blew. It's telling me we have to plant the seeds. And twos are planting seeds of love. Okay? So we don't want revenge. One brother made a video, I forget, I think one of you shared it. No, it was Tammy. She shared a brother saying, well, isn't it ironic that he's pro the right to bear arms, but the right to bear arms didn't save him from getting shot? So nobody should bear arms. The only thing you should have is bear arms, B-A-R-E, bear them. They should be bare. There should be nothing on them, because we should be loving. The only reason why we want to carry as a gun is because we have old memories and we might need it, and you don't want to. We got to wave the white flag, and that forgiveness process will stop anybody from ever coming to you for that. That's a guarantee. This is the last slide. I'm not sure if you heard the last intro video for today's invite, but I had Within You, Without You, a song by the Beatles. They knew. So I just get the first verse here. We're talking about the space between us all. That's the black, the pure, the love. And the people who hide themselves behind a wall of illusion never glimpse the truth. Then it's far too late when they pass away. We were talking about the love we all could share. When we find it, try to do our best to hold it there with our love. With our love, we could save the world if they only knew. And that's all we have for today.